help her, Mr. I let you.
Hey, get in here. Dallas is about to start.
Welcome to the Ewing Barbecue, where if you're playing the drinking at home game, you're gonna get crunk tonight because Miss Ellie's doing all the emoting. My name is Mary.
And I'm Josh. I just came back from a wonderful sting operation in a warehouse.
And I'm Melanie. I have nothing to say to that. Jeez, I have nothing.
Nothing?
I was like, wait a minute, warehouse, sting. Nope.
No.
Nothing.
Sting and the police. The police were involved, but there was no singing involved
To be
either.
quite honest, you guys, sending out an SOS.
I got your message in a bottle.
No. No, honestly, you guys, it's been such. You don't have to put on the red light. It's
Those
been such
days
a
are
day
over.
that I literally, all this stuff with the work setup going on, I got up and fed the cats, and I went in the fridge and I started to drink like part of a leftover beer and realized I hadn't eaten all day.
Oh, you're a little woozy, huh?
Fun.
So I'm already a little buzzed,
Nice.
and I haven't had very much of this either. Because I drank it and I went, oh shit. Because within like 2 minutes,
felt
I was
it.
like,
Alcohol,
Nice.
the cause and solution to all of life's problems.
True.
it wasn't even that high in alcohol content.
with
but
no
it was-
food.
Josh,
No food.
but with no
Yeah.
food. But let me tell you what, these two, I have not done shots like that. Probably in
I don't do
Did you
shots
do-
unless
did-
I'm with Sarah.
10,
Pickleback.
15
Sarah
years.
just kept buying them.
She did the pickleback? Oh,
Oh, yeah, it was so bad. It was so
Yeah.
bad.
That's all we did. All we did was picklebacks. These two don't remember walking back to the hotel.
Remember walking back. It was really, really bad.
oh.
I guess we were in the elevator with the Sons of Anarchy guy. I don't know.
Yeah, Mark Boone Jr.
I look forward to when the four of us can have picklebacks in person.
Yeah. Ooh, memorable.
They were good. Well, if you do the Atlanta thing sometime, we know a little spot up the road.
So I'd like to thank our Patreon members, Brendan Fillick, Captain America, Sheen Pye, Justin Ware, Laura Bernheim, Brad Mulholland, Anita Wren, and Kristen Carlano. And if you're at all interested in Patreon, we're adding a bunch of new things. We have some new chapters for the Raintree book that are coming up. We did a special DOA episode where we just kind of shot the shit and talked about, this time we talked about fandoms. Because last weekend, Sarah, Melanie, and I met in person for the first time, and we drank some drinks and talked about fandom and recorded it, and you get to listen to it on our Patreon. So if that's something you're interested in, go check it out.
And
the address is in your show notes.
And do you still have the video of the after the barbecue in the Patreon?
Oh, yeah. And
As well with Omri?
the
Okay.
Omri Cats, the After the Barbecue, is in the Patreon. There's a bunch of our notes that we've taken on episodes. What else? We have a lot of stuff on our Patreon right now. So if that's something you're interested in, you could go right now, and it's just all available right now. Are your listening pleasure?
Annie Wershing, who played Allison Jones from the DCT in the New Dallas, she just passed at 45 years old this past weekend of cancer. There is a GoFundMe page set up because she had 3 small boys that and she left behind her husband.
So
too,
sad.
So, yeah. I don't like starting these shows with death
No,
things. Lisa Marie and Annie, but
What's better
it's
is
important.
birthdays. Are there any birthdays?
Birthdays. February 3rd, 1959, 60, 64 years.
February 3rd, 1959 was the day that music died, by the way.
Yes, it was. It was also the day. It was also the day Frederick Lean, who played Eddie Cronin, was born.
Oh, no
Yeah.
shit.
Wow.
The exact same day.
I only know that because February 3rd was my grandmother's birthday.
Oh.
Yeah, not 1959,
No.
obviously. She turned, 27 that year?
49, 39, 32. She was born 32. Oh,
She
a
was.
year before my father.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
February 6th, 1943, 79 years old, Gail Honeycutt, who played Vanessa Beaumont. This coming weekend, February 3rd and 4th, 3rd, 4th, 5th, the Hollywood show out in, I believe it's in Burbank. Omri Katz will be there with Vanessa Shaw from Hocus Pocus. And then he's appearing in Pensacola, Florida with Patrick Duffy the same weekend that you, Mary, are doing the Twin Peaks event.
Yeah. Weekend of February 24th.
And then 90s Con in March. He's there with some of the Hocus Pocus people.
If there's any Twin Peaks fans listening to this, there is a Twin Peaks event in the real Twin Peaks, which is Snoqualmie in North Bend, Washington, February 24th to 26th, being put on by the town. So check it out, therealtwinpeaks.com.
I wish I could get out there.
Someday. We're going to do it next year, too, so plan on that.
And lastly, there was some postings about the state of South Fork from some people that have been there recently, and saying that looks like it's fallen on hard times, but they're in I would like to say they're in a period of reorganization under new management, so don't really
let's hope
throw stones or
that's
anything.
What it is, yeah.
A positive sign, though, is that after maybe almost 2 years away, South Fork's Instagram page resurfaced with activity again this past December, and they're back. And so let's see.
All right. So tonight we're talking about Season 5, Episode 25, Episode 102 of the series, Acceptance.
Did you hear about your friend, Cliff Barnes?
He's not my friend anymore.
Well, the way I hear it, he's not anybody's friend anymore.
Cliff, I want you to resign now. That's all I have to say to you. I just knew it was only a matter of time before you'd be sitting right where you are, gloating.
Anytime you need a favor, come to OJR.
Your favors are too expensive.
Cliff has a fatal weakness, his ambition.
Shouldn't a person be allowed to make mistakes?
But shouldn't they be prepared to pay a price if they do?
It was written by Will Lorin, directed by Michael Preece, and aired April 2nd, 1982.
4 years to the day that the series premiered.
What was going on with Dallas, Josh?
Well, this episode dropped to number 2 in the ratings from 1.
Oh, okay.
And going through Barbara Curran's book, which is a great read if you want to pick that up at some point. Leonard Katzman thought that for Barbara Bel Geddes, losing Jim Davis was like losing her own husband again. It was a very emotional time for Barbara. Mm-hmm. And although he would make guest appearances in later seasons, I'm going to say seasons 8 and 12, depending on how you number the seasons. This was Lee McCluskey's last appearance as Mitch, as a regular. And he originally had a 1-year contract, but they asked him to stay for a second year. And then at the end of the filming of this season, they were told he would not be back for season 5. And he asked why he was being written out. And Phil Capiz told him that Mitch was too nice. And he said, why didn't they change Mitch to become more interesting?
Right. It's like they had the power there.
I'm not going to say I hate showrunners, but I don't hate showrunners most of the time. I hate the executives. The people who make the decisions sometimes are fucking stupid. I don't know what they're thinking.
Right.
Like, they could have done a lot more with Lee.
Yeah.
And Lucy. They could have done so much more.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
Absolutely.
They could have had Mitch have an affair with Evelyn. And then maybe Lucy's pregnant or something, and then they have to figure that out. That would have been a really good storyline to figure out.
Honestly, that would have been the better way to go, probably.
Speaking of, I think she's pregnant in this episode because she totally has like a book over her stomach in one scene, and they keep shooting her from the neck up.
Oh.
Wait a second. When was Cherish born?
We figured this out before. She was born in 82 at some point, so they would have filmed this earlier. So she would.
Okay.
I've been looking to see if I could see if she's pregnant in any of these because I knew she would be during the filming of these at some point.
Are you looking up Cherish Lee? Okay.
Yep.
I will not go and look that up. I'll just keep plowing along.
Okay. She was born in 82. Okay.
Was it August?
August 20th.
She's totally pregnant.
Oh, yeah.
I bet she was just starting to show when they were filming it.
Probably. Yeah.
Lee described his experience on Dallas as a good one. He said the people were very nice, and he learned a lot from doing the show. And it was such an interesting phenomenon and something that he has never seen before or since. And it was a great experience to be part of television history. And this episode scene between Punk and Miss Ellie is one of Morgan Woodward's favorites. And
so
Woodward
good.
found Barbara Bel Geddes to be a delight. And Cliff's embezzlement power grab was a welcome development for Ken Kercheval, who thought his character was so nice that he wanted. Here's his quote. He was so nice that I wanted to go to a toy company and market a Cliff Barnes doll where you wind it up and it bends over to be kicked.
That's fine.
Phil Capiz always felt that Cliff Barnes was bad underneath. He was a lecher, a cheapskate, and a manipulator, but no one noticed because he was always going up against JR and losing to a greater person. Now that Cliff has come into a lot of money through his long-lost mother, Rebecca, and can fight JR on his own terms, it changes things a little bit, but it's such unexpected gimmicks that keep showing up like those that keep the show going. Ken Kercheval said, evil Schmeevil, good or bad guy, he said it's just a job.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ken.
Thanks, Ken. All right. So tonight we open on JR. He's in a flower shop setting up flowers being delivered to Sue Ellen every single morning at 9 a.m. Not too early.
Oh, my
including
heart.
weekends.
You charmer.
Yellow roses.
You charmer.
Yellow roses, which is, I think, maybe a little much. That'd be a little much for me, but I'm not Sue Ellen.
2 dozen to her, and then he wants 1 dozen red roses sent to Marilee Stone.
This is once, though. Ms.
Just
Stone.
once. Ms. Stone.
Ms. Stone.
Oh, hell no. Just this once.
Love that. And then a Detective White calls Bobby and wants him to come downtown.
About the Faraday matter.
Dun, dun, dun.
Doesn't say murder, it says matter. Because you never know if these office phones are bugged.
That's true. That's true.
But that whole storyline, the detectives and the dealers, it is just bad acting.
It's just a little season 2 for me. I don't know.
Yeah.
Season 2.
Yeah, they're the stupidest criminals.
The stupidest criminals in the world. Yes. Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is so bad.
Thankfully, he comes back later as another character.
Yeah, that's true. And that's what, at the end of this episode, I'm like, and little did we know he has a twin brother.
Who drinks Dos Equis.
So then we got to Donna, and she is torn between being honest in her book and honoring Miss Ellie's feelings.
And her publisher is Ed Chapman. And he tells her that there's no rush. Just why don't you just take some time and think about it? And Ray comes in. It's a lot better than the last time he came into a meeting with the publisher and he was all, I don't really give a damn. Because I'm a stupid
cowboy.
I'm a dumb cowboy. You don't want my opinion.
We don't, Ray. We don't.
Yeah, because I'm breathing in too much cow manure fumes.
Yeah. So he just gives her time to decide. So she's gonna.
And Ray almost is like, it's almost like he has a crystal ball and he's like, well, just take a beat because you never know what might happen.
Right. You never know. He's been hanging out with Afton.
That's right. Our resident witch.
Mm-hmm. So then Rebecca, she visits Cliff in the office.
Tells him to not take that phone call.
Yeah. He gives her a kiss and you can just tell she's cold.
You're as cold as ice. You're willing to sacrifice. Nope. She is not having it.
She says, you have betrayed me by embezzling. And he's like, embezzling. And she's like, yeah, we're going to call it what it is.
And if you weren't my son and this happened in some other company, what would you call it, Cliff?
I mean, not wrong. But he's just like, okay, hear my side. Listen to my side. And so he tries to explain it. And she's just like dumbfounded. She's like, you haven't heard a word I said. I trusted you.
Right.
And you betrayed me.
I want you to submit a letter of resignation now to the board. I don't want to see it. You can give no reason. You can say personal issues. Just be gone. And then, as she's leaving, he says that...
Little Cliff comes out. Little Cliff comes out and he says, he's basically like, Mama, I don't care about the job. Like, I just don't want to lose you because, like, we had so much time apart and I don't want to lose you. And she just looks at him and she says, bye, Cliff, and walks out the door. Oh, that is harsh. Rebecca, ow.
Cliff, you should have pulled out the licorice.
That is...
Pull out the bowl of licorice.
Like, I get she's pissed and feels betrayed, but she walked out on her 5-year-old son for, like, 40 years. Like,
you're not exactly...
At least another shot. She can't throw stones.
Right. If she throws it, she's living in a glass house. She's going to break the house. Mm-hmm. And I tell you, he should have pulled out the licorice bowl.
He should have. I
felt like
he seemed like he had like tears welling up. Like, Mama. Oh, God damn it.
I remember you like licorice. You didn't even have any licorice. Still one of his favorite scenes.
Yeah. At the police, they tell Bobby that his story's not adding up.
Right. He says they did say that they did talk to Los Angeles. Faraday was into narcotics, but there was an envelope with Bobby's name on it.
Right.
At the scene.
So and Bobby's like, wait, what is it? And they're like, yeah, well, we're not telling you that. He's like, well, give it to me. And they're like, yeah, no, we're not going to do that. This is a murder investigation, and you're a suspect. So we're not going to give it to you.
That's an...
He's like, just what is this evidence? Like, that's an old cop trick, though. Like, oh, we've got everything on you.
Even the stuff that...
hoping they'll confess. And Bobby's like, fuck you. No, you don't.
Even the stuff that we planted, we have.
Pretty much.
Right. Yeah, so Bobby's just like... Ugh. But
when this case is wrapped up...
He's like...
When this case is wrapped up, that he can have the whatever was in that.
Right. And they said it's an envelope addressed to Bobby. It's something in an envelope. So that's all we know.
Yeah. Now, Ray pulls into South Fork, and it's raining again at night.
It is a rainy, thundery night.
And I am beginning to think that when they filmed this, they must have had each car drive up the driveway on the same rainy night just to get stock footage.
They probably did. That's actually a good point.
And they probably had the same driver drive each car. So if you look closely, it's the same guy.
This is a really rainy year, 1982. Jeez.
Even the women's cars, if the women were driving, you look close and it's the same guy.
Same dude. Yep. And we have to drink because Ellie is staring off into space in the living room.
Oh, boy. How's your liver going to be after this one?
Not good, not good.
Oh, man.
So Ray walks in, and she does not want to talk about Donna.
We're not going to talk about Donna. And we're not going to talk about Judy.
I was just thinking the same thing. We're going to leave her out of this.
That's right.
But he says...
And Ray is going to turn into a teapot.
Oh, he says he wants to talk about Donna and Jock. Oof. Ellie just looks at him.
That's a double whammy for Ellie.
Mm-hmm.
And he talks about how when he came to South, Jock was almost godlike to him, and then he saw that guy in the bar that talked about Jock being a crook and a crooked land deal, and Ray punched him out, and it was just like Jock was a man. He wasn't perfect. They shouldn't put him on a pedestal, and Jock wouldn't want that.
He's just a human. He's just a human man, and we loved him, but he's human. He makes mistakes like everybody else.
That's something I brought up, I remember a few episodes ago, was like, everybody's idolizing him once he passed.
Yes, you did bring that up. I remember.
Yeah, and it's like, that's one thing I had a problem with. And it seems like it gets even worse in the seasons as they go on. About how great Jock was. And it's like, okay, he becomes the portrait on the wall.
And I think Ray Krebs heard you, because he's not just a dumb cowboy at this point. He went in there and
Ray Krebs is not a dumb cowboy. No, he's not.
And Ellie did not respond. She just walked out of the room.
Yeah, I think he had a really good point when he said that you're never going to do his memory justice by only remembering like the good parts of him. If you're only remembering parts, that's not the whole person he was. And that's a really good point.
That's right. Because he made her quite unhappy at times.
I am Takapa.
And she's forgetting that.
Like they were literally almost getting divorced right before he went missing.
Yep.
So, which is probably adding to guilt, is my guess. It's probably making it worse.
Because she realizes that was wasted time for them.
It was wasted time for sure. Yeah. Yep.
And then we have Sue Ellen is receiving more roses, and she's avoiding Cliff's calls, and Cliff is drinking on the other end. And she puts in the beauty pageant, and she's watching that. So obviously she's starting.
But we missed Pam delivering breakfast to Ellie the next morning. Little scene between.
Oh yeah, that was such a quick scene, eh?
It was such a quick scene, yeah. But yeah, yeah.
Just establishing Ellie emoting again.
Emoting,
I'll pull up
drink. Just sitting into a room, like staring at a wall. Yeah, Cliff does not look well. And yeah, you can tell that he's called that phone like 78 times.
Right. So Sue Ellen has Mrs. Chambers is very good at diverting calls, because she had plenty of practice when Sue Ellen was avoiding JR's calls.
Yeah.
And now she's doing it. Now it's being done to Cliff. Sue Ellen is starting to crack her.
So it's like this videotape has a spell on it. Like she starts watching it, and it's like all of a sudden it's like a spell where she's like, "Oh, the good times with JR," da da da, and
it's a trap,
and
baby.
it's the same exact scene in the video that was shown when
last time, yeah.
Because they bring up Mary Lou Barnes or whatever her name was.
They do, yep.
Who I wonder if Miss Corpus Christi. I wonder if she's a part of the Digger Barnes family.
You never know. Distant relative.
That could have been a interesting twist. Bring in Miss Corpus Christi in later years as a relative of Cliff Barnes.
Yeah.
That would have shown very distinct attention to detail of,
and there was none. So
yeah,
that's how you can tell that people do their homework.
According to the New Dallas series, Miss Ellie's in an institution at this point in this year. So
that's true.
Which is not happening.
Right.
I'm not bitter about it at all.
Wait a second. I thought she was institutionalized. I thought they said she had been institutionalized like later, but more of like a nursing.
They said in 81, so this is just after 81 that she had been in an institution.
Now,
unless it was over summer hiatus and somebody forgot to tell somebody else.
So Bobby calls the dealer to set up
The terrible Coke dealers. He leaves a message on like their answering machine. Okay. And they're so terrible. I bet their message is like, if you need some cocaine, leave a message after the beep.
If you need heroin, press 2 at the tone.
That's what I was going to say. I was going to be like, what are they? They're the kind of people that you'd be like, hey, yes, is this Mr. Drug Dealer? Yeah, I'd like to buy some cocaine.
I would like to buy some of the cocaine, please.
I don't know what sizes does it come in?
Can I supersize that, please?
It's like when Homer Simpson went into the Quickie Mart to buy the illegal fireworks. He's like, yeah, I'll have some of those condoms and this and the pornography and this. Oh, and can I get some illegal fireworks too? Yeah. Oh, yes. Please meet us at this address. And if you have any issues, please come down to our drug dealer office, and we'll be glad to issue a refund if you have a bad product.
So bad.
And we will give you a free case of Dos Equis.
Possibly a movie deal.
That's right.
So JR goes to see Sue Ellen, bringing her more yellow roses because she needs more yellow roses, I guess.
I'm sorry. This is. Oh, as much as I hate him sometimes, he knows what he's
all
doing.
I can think of.
It bothers me. It bothers me that he knows how much he's doing here.
And all I want to, when I see the yellow roses and hear him keep saying yellow roses, all I hear in the background is, and see in my mind is, a drunk Digger Barnes, played by David
walking
Wayne,
through the mud. Yes, and
singing the Yellow Rose of Texas at the barbecue.
Yes, and at the beginning of the
early years.
The early years. Mm-hmm. Same. That's what the song always reminds me of. So she asks him if he wants to drink as well, and of course he does.
He comes over to tell her basically that Cliff Barnes is in trouble and that she's beautiful in this light. That's pretty much it. Rebecca fired him. Did you know that? And she's like, he's not my friend anymore. But she didn't know Cliff had been fired. And then he's like, that color looks real good on you.
And she does this whole like, what's different in here? I don't, oh no, it's the light. It's just like, you look so beautiful in this light. I'm like, God damn it. And you can just see her like starry eyes at him. Like, God.
You look sexy, Mom. I want to bang you on this couch.
Well, she looked taken aback for a minute. She was like, thank you.
Right.
But you know what it's a reversal. It's a reversal of what has happened before. He wanted to stay over the house in the past. Now he's dangling the carrot in front of her and he's like, no, I got to go back to the office and do some things. And she's trying to get him to stay.
Yeah.
She offers to cook for him. She's like, can I fix you something to eat?
I know, and he's just like,
it's like, Sue Ellen, do you cook?
Right. And he's just like,
he's like, oh, that's nice of you, honey. But I got to get going.
He's trying to make her,
he puts his hand on her face.
And he's trying to make her want what she doesn't have.
Uh-huh. Yep. And then they do this thing where then they close the door and both of them on both sides of the door go, they're being torn apart. But then JR kind of smirks and walks away because it's goddamn full of shit. And I hate that they worked on her. He was playing her. I hate it.
His smirk wasn't as smirky as it usually is.
It wasn't as smirky as it usually is.
It was not as smirky. It was kind of like, there was like a half sincerity there. Like,
yeah.
Like he was kind of like schoolboy, but also kind of like conniving schoolboy. Kind of like
go either way. He played it so well that it could be either way, and that's the thing.
He knew what he was doing. And spoiler alert, it reminded me of when he went over to her house in the new series. And just
did you notice that when Larry's voice drops an octave when he's talking to Linda as JR and Sue Ellen, he's usually sincere.
That's true.
When he's not all, ranting about something or blah, blah. Something I kind of picked up on thinking about it from now, like seasons, all of them technically. When he's serious, like when he really wants her to pay attention, like when he's like, like, no, for real. Like, his voice drops an octave.
Yep.
It gets a little deeper.
It's like slowing down the speech for the children a little bit. But.
Kind of. Because coming up, like, later in this episode, he says something to her that I actually fucking believe. In that lower voice.
Ooh.
So.
I'm intrigued.
All right.
You know
Back
what it
to
is.
stupid drug dealers.
Stupid drug dealers.
This was the easiest raid in the history of raids.
Bobby wants to lay in for $100,000, and Smith says to meet him tomorrow night at 8 p.m. at a warehouse on Commerce.
Can we talk about
warehouse.
the name Joe Smith?
I know, right? Joe Smith.
We're going to meet Joe Smith at the warehouse.
And I'm surprised they didn't say, and his buddy John Doe, number 6.
I mean, that's like, we're going to meet Joe Smith at the warehouse. Like, that is basically like saying...
Joe Blow.
What is that? I mean, Joe Smith. Like...
At the warehouse?
Mike Jones. At the port.
The warehouse, which is just...
District? Like, what? Okay.
The warehouse, which is just down the road from the store, which is near the restaurant.
That's right. There was a restaurant that said restaurant, wasn't there?
Yeah.
Lucy goes in and tells Miss Ellie that Punk is downstairs and that he's come over the house.
She's like, there's a visitor. And Ellie's like, I'm not seeing anyone. She's like, but it's Punk. She's like, oh, why didn't you just say so? I'll be right down.
And then he makes small talk with Lucy about her seeing her in a magazine and being she looked beautiful. And that was kind of like awkward filler conversation.
Yeah, I think it's just like Punk's a charmer. He's a charmer. Yeah. He's just like,
old school.
Yeah.
Old school charmer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so when Ellie sees Punk, she starts to cry a bit and she just hugs him.
Aww.
It's been far too long, Ellie.
But he's trying to keep it light and a good mood. And he invites her to the Oil Barons Ball, which I think this is our first mention of the Oil Barons Ball.
Right. Something that they used to go to off camera that we never saw until now. Because they need the writers in the writers' room. They go, we need something. What about an Oil Barons Ball?
One of the best parts of the entire show, in my humble opinion, is the Oil Barons Ball. Love
Those
it.
and the barbecues.
And the barbecues are the best. Yes.
Anytime you throw everybody together in one thing for an event, stuff's going to happen, and it's going to go down. And I like Punk's enthusiasm. Well, I'm going to have Mavis call you tomorrow morning. It's going to be her idea. She's going to take you out. You're going to buy a real nice dress for yourself. You're going to get up and you're going to come and all the blah blah. No, Punk. I really can't do that. I haven't gone without Jock, and Jock's not here. Then he mentions some of the good old boys
setting up a memorial scholarship in Jock's name. And as soon as he says memorial scholarship, it's as if he has punched her in the face. That's how she reacts.
Oh.
She visibly steps back.
Well, Ellie, Jock's dead. Ugh, daggers.
She just turns around and walks the fuck out of the room. Walks back up to her bedroom.
And puts her sweater away and then sees Jock's suits and silently emotes. So... pounding that, oh man, the liver is gonna.
I'm gonna need a refill.
And then JR goes to see Afton at work.
And the exterior is the same place where Lucy first met Mitch.
Yeah.
So she's singing where he used to park cars, basically, is what they're trying to imply.
Yeah. And he says he's come to deliver Cliff, who has been dumped by everyone else in his life. He's freshly available.
And he thanks her for tipping him off about Clayton and says, "Oh, I'm going to owe you a favor at some point." And she says his favors are too expensive.
Yeah, she's not wrong. She says she'd rather have lost him than have this happen. And that is because Afton actually loves Cliff.
Go figure.
Yeah, she actually does love him.
Has she evolved from his You're a loser, Cliff. I don't date losers.
She's totally evolved from that. Like, it's like she let herself fall in love with Cliff, and then she has totally changed.
Right.
And then we cut to Ellie walking around the ranch, silently emoting, drink again.
Silently pounding our livers.
Okay, and then we get to a scene where Rebecca and Pam are talking, and Rebecca is upset, and she's just like, she says, well, you can't say you didn't warn me, but she's worried that she's gone too far, like she was too harsh. And Pam is like Pam.
Yeah.
I don't like this side of Pam. This is Pam being competitive for their mother's affection. I swear to God it is, because she's just like, nope. She's just a hard ass about it. And she says, no, like he deserved it, blah, blah, blah. And Rebecca's like, well, maybe I kind of think maybe a person should be allowed to make mistakes because like she has a lot. And but Pam's like, well, shouldn't they also be prepared to pay for it if they do? I'm like, Jesus Christ, Pam.
I'm a bitch. Oh, the bitch is back.
Super judgy. I don't like that I don't like that Pam's doing this at all. I don't like it. Mm-mm.
And they talk about Cliff's competitive streak and his overambitiousness and the Ewings and everything comes back to the bloody Ewings. Ollie. Yeah, I was not digging Pam in that scene.
No, Pam didn't. It wasn't a good look, Pam.
Pam, you get the bell. We haven't even done the bell in a while.
We have done. Hold on. Bell for Pam.
Is this the first time it's gone to a woman?
I think it might be. Definitely the first time it's gone to Pam.
I do agree that Cliff needed to be punished.
Oh, sure.
He said he made restitution. I still feel like maybe the resignation was the right thing to do because obviously the board knew about it. Internally, people knew about it. And if you can't trust like the people you work for, then
right. But she shouldn't have turned her back. Rebecca shouldn't have said goodbye, Cliff, like that.
Right. That was what was harsh. And the fact that Pam's like, nope, he deserves all of it. Like, wasn't a good look, I didn't think, for Pam.
Pam and Cliff are like real, I don't want to say wishy-washy, but they're like love-hate.
Yeah.
They're either each other's fiercest defenders or they're each other's worst enemies.
Yeah.
Beyond the
kind
years.
of like when Sue Ellen is going well with JR and she doesn't need Bobby and Pam.
They're ride or die. It's them against the world.
Yeah.
And then when things are bad, she's like, oh God, I'm alone.
I need you. I need everybody.
I'm like, Sue Ellen, you can have both. It's not that hard.
Right.
Like, don't turn your back on the people who love you when, things are going good with JR.
It's what have you done for me lately?
For Sue Ellen?
It seems like it.
Yeah. I think Sue Ellen's, she has a really just messed up sense of loyalty. Really messed up sense.
Well, yeah, and when it's like when Bobby and Pam or whoever like tried to express their concerns, like, okay, maybe you're looking at him through rose-colored glasses because, he bought you jewelry or like fucked you real good last night. You're just not looking you're not looking at this logically, girl. Like, trust me, it makes you do stupid things.
Love is blind.
And then you'll defend him and you don't know he's changed, blah blah. Girl, come on.
And and this hasn't become an issue too bad yet, but it will later. Sue Ellen's treatment of other women, don't love it. Don't love it.
Sue Ellen, if you believe JR has changed, then I've got some oceanfront property in Nevada for you. Okay.
But these are all Sue Ellen's issues and their attachment issues that have to do with her messed up home life, as all of our issues are.
Right. I think she cut Dr. Elby off a little too quickly.
Yeah, Dr. Elby. We could have used Dr. Elby. Yeah.
She is like the poster child for childhood trauma unresolved.
Oh, yeah. For sure.
I think Dr. Elby should have had a guest house, like a little ranch bungalow on South Fork.
He could have just sat at the table every night and then just been the person when they start fighting at the dinner table. Be like, okay, how does that make you feel?
There's a couch in there's a couch in the living room, so he could, they could lie on the couch and he could sit in the chair and take notes.
Would have been helpful.
Right there.
Would have been helpful.
Have you ever been to therapy? That's not how it works.
They told me I was beyond therapy.
Where have I heard that line before?
So now we come to the scene where Lucy is sunbathing, and I think she's hiding her pregnancy. Her real life pregnancy.
She's hiding the baby bump. She's hiding her cherished bump. And Mitch comes in his yellow Mustang to say goodbye because he's taken a job in at a burn center in Atlanta.
I know. Yep. So he's come to say goodbye.
But he will write to her and let her know that he's settled in and arrived.
That's so funny to me when people are like, "Oh, I'll write to you. Oh, but I still want to be friends." You're gonna write to her, Mr. Doctor Man, in your burn unit
while you're attending to burn patients.
Are you really? Is he really gonna write to her?
I guess that means it didn't work out with Evelyn since he's just moving to Atlanta.
Either that or Evelyn's following him. We don't know.
And why write instead of just pick up the phone and say, "Hey, yeah, I've arrived. I'm here." This isn't the 1800s where you have to send a telegram.
Wrote letters more than. I mean, I used to write letters, which is weird. Now that seems
more
weird.
Personal.
I did.
Now it's just pull out the cell phone, fire off a text, and boop,
better
done.
In my opinion. I love texting.
Wait, another way the show would have been a lot different if they had modern technology of cell phones back then.
I mean, that's.
Would you text me when you get there? And
I mean, that was
gone.
That was a difference about the new series, is they did have that different storyline.
Yes, they did. It was a lot easier to track people down too, instead of you have to call this restaurant and they have to have those phones with all those really long cords that everybody's tripping over, brought to the table.
Yep.
And
what cracks me up is that they had like the full names of like their, like John Ross had like the full names of his like parents or whatever, and they're like J.R. Ewing instead of Dad. Like, what the fuck? Well, I gave my mom shit about that once because she had my dad in her phone as Tim Joy, and I was like, "What the fuck?" She's like, "I don't know. It was just in there. This is his name, right?" And I'm like, "You've been married to him for 40 years. I think you know his last name. He's like the only Tim you know. Like, what the fuck?" So she doesn't know it yet, but one day I'm going to take her phone and like delete his last name and put a bunch of emojis in there, like an axe, a ring, the mad swearing face.
Seth's last name is in
don't
my
put
phone,
any don't put any eggplants or anything like that.
You guys have a different last name though. But do you know multiple Seths?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, it's like I know multiple Steves or Stevens, and my brother's name is the only one. My brother is the only one that is in my phone as Steve. He's I don't know. He's the most important one, I guess. I don't know.
I do everybody's first and last name and address just because when I scroll through, I just like to everything to be uniform.
I like to have last names too most of the time.
Nowadays, you don't even know people's phone numbers because you just push their picture and it dials.
I know like my mom's phone number because it was my phone number as a kid, but like anybody else's, I don't know.
I don't know my sister's phone number. I just go,
nope.
Boop.
I don't know mine. Brothers.
Dial.
Nope. No idea.
I think the day that my mom and dad like moved out of Maine and disconnected their phone number was like a very sad day for me. Because I deleted it out of my phone and I was like, they've had that number 35 years.
Yeah.
I still have the phone numbers of dead relatives in my phone just for prosperity.
It was crazy because like my grandmother had, my dad's mom had her phone number. They had their phone number since, you remember back when they were doing, they had like letters at the beginning?
Yeah.
Letters?
Yeah, back in the day.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, my mom's phone number was
the first two digits were
whatever. Yeah.
Was that when you had the earpiece and you had to go beep, 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 and it's a rotary thing?
Yes, because my great grandmother worked for the phone company, and she listened in on party lines. Yeah.
My mom worked for the phone company.
Were they the original Lily Tomlin? I'm sorry that party does not respond.
Yeah, but no, like they had that phone number from I don't know how many years. I think it used to be like different. Like had the two letters at the beginning, but that phone number was probably in service for like 50 years when it was finally disconnected.
Imagine being the voice of the recorded operator voice, and then like actually running into that person on the street or somewhere.
My God.
I'd be like traumatized. I'd be like, "Oh God, no, you! Oh God!"
I've seen the lady who's Alexa.
What?
Yep, because she.
Does she look like she sounds?
I didn't recognize at first, but she's from Seattle, and she's a local actress, and she was in an indie movie that one of Seth's coworkers at Amazon made. And so we went to the movie to see it in like a little theater. And they had a little thing with the actors at the end. And I didn't catch it. And then Seth leaned over and he's like, "That's Alexa." And I was like, "Oh my God, it is."
Oh, today would be Lisa Marie's 55th birthday, by the way.
I know. I saw Priscilla's her post about it. Just heartbreaking.
Anyway, can we all drink because Miss Ellie has more silent emoting as she walks past the stables?
All the emoting.
And then she stops and talks to Jock's horse Blazer, and she did not bring him any sugar.
No, poor Blazer. And Cliff is not doing well. Guy is just, he's not doing, he
takes a gun out of the friggin' drawer.
I know. And thank God it's Afton at the door. I was worried for a second it was going to be JR taunting him more. Because I wouldn't put it past JR.
Well, what was he going to do with that gun? Was he going to go hunt down JR and try to kill him? That's already been said and done. And, you got to try something different.
Cliff says to Afton, if you ever want to stop singing, you should take up fortune telling, which is what I've been saying the whole time. See, Cliff agrees with me.
Cliff heard you. Cliff.
Yep. Yeah. He says, "You're really quite good at it." I know. She is. She's a witch.
Cliff has a time machine from Baby Stewie on Family Guy, and he came into the future and heard you on the podcast.
Yep. And he's like, "Yep, you're the good witch."
Yep.
She's there to help.
Glenda. She's Glenda, the good witch.
Yes. But yeah, she's there to try to help him. She's like, "Look, I will do anything for you. Like, tell me what you need. Do you need me right now? What do you need?" And he literally is like, "Yeah, that's sweet, but I don't need anything from you." Oof.
I don't need any.
Ouch. That hurts.
But in a couple scenes, she comes out of the bedroom. So
she does, but I don't know.
We don't know if anything did or didn't happen. So, but we'll get. Okay, here we go.
Oh boy. We're at the warehouse,
which is just down from the store and the restaurant.
Yes. I was like, "Hey, do you remember when you admitted to me that you killed Jeff Faraday before? Can you maybe talk about that again, really loud at my chest?" And they're like,
at my oiled up chest.
Yeah, of course we can talk about that. Yeah. We're terrible at our jobs as drug dealers, so we're gonna tell you exactly how we killed him, and that we're drug dealers. And do you need me to repeat that? Did I stutter?
Yeah, because I'm totally not wearing a wire.
Did your little tape recorder pick that up all right?
It was ridiculous. It was just completely ridiculous. And then, "We got him, boys, and it's a sting." Blah. I'm like, "Oh, really? Crazy. They never saw it coming because they didn't because they're awful."
God damn it, this is a raid.
And what reminds me of season 2 is Detective White goes, "Well, you ever think of joining the force?"
So
Bobby another Bobby Ewing spinoff.
All the spinoffs, yep. And I just wrote, "Shut up." Shut up, detective.
Go back to your cheesy 70s cop show.
Well, at least it didn't last too long, this little subplot, but I hated it.
Yeah, it was a low point.
Yeah. And then we cut to Sue Ellen arranging her 87,000 yellow roses.
Yeah,
it's a little ridiculous.
Texas.
It's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, it's a bit.
A little bit.
Yeah. What's that Duran Duran song? Overkill?
Yeah. So JR shows up to pick up John Ross, but then he tries to play on her sympathy for Ellie to get her to come to have dinner at South Fork.
Oh.
Yeah. JR is just working it.
Work it, girl.
He is working it more than the people taking Pam's studio's aerobics classes.
Working it more than RuPaul, that's for sure.
Well, he's on a mission.
Mm-hmm.
He wants those shares.
He wants the shares, yeah, but he also, I think he doesn't know life without the family unit. Sue Ellen's always been there. Now that he has they have a child, the child's not there. It's
I think
it's familiarity.
Missing that. Yeah, he's missing that.
It's like a big void.
Mm-hmm.
This big gap.
Now, what dumbass doesn't understand is that had he not fucked around and found out in the first place, he would still have that family unit intact. All he had to do was keep it in his pants.
Or at least be a little more covert about it. I don't know.
He's so stupid.
He's so stupid, yeah.
The subtle nope rope.
Subtle nope rope. Yeah. A little more subtle, maybe. It would have been... Because...
And that's the thing. I feel like Sue Ellen was
noodle.
Just listening to Patricia talk and Kristen talk years before. I think Sue Ellen was raised to be like, well, just look the other way. And she didn't because it fucking bothered her.
Like Jackie Kennedy when she knew that...
She would have looked the other way, but if he hadn't been so in her face about it, like with her sister. I mean, dude.
Well, even before that.
Which tramp are you sleeping with tonight? Well, whoever she is, she's more interesting than the one I'm looking at right now. I mean, please.
It was the word slut.
I know.
It wasn't tramp. It was slut. And I remember going, ooh, when I first heard that, because it was like, damn.
Mostly
1979, 1980, okay.
Yeah, that's pretty.
Oh, tramp is reserved for that winger woman.
I think Sue Ellen only called her a tramp one time.
Did she?
And then
correctly, she's like, oh, look who it is, the winger tramp.
And then
don't tell me JR let you out of bed long enough to enjoy lunch.
And then that.
Damn, I remember that.
That became the catchphrase. Everyone, certain people refer to her always as the winger tramp.
So Cliff is doing even worse, sliding right down into the bell jar.
He wants to leave Dallas.
Yeah, he wants to leave Dallas. And he's calling himself a loser. And Afton is thought, she's like, you're not a loser. You know, like, we can stay together. We could beat JR, the two of us. Like, together, we could be a superhero team.
And it's a complete 180 bookend to when she said she didn't date losers.
Right, yeah.
It just shows her growth and evolving.
Yep. And then he's like, nope, I will never beat JR. Like, I just can't do it. And I said, well, maybe, I don't know, crazy idea. Just go on with your life and leave JR behind. Like, literally, I think if he just tried to, like, go on and do whatever the hell he wanted, maybe he wouldn't have to deal with JR anymore.
But he dug himself in so deep and dedicated it's like the center of his existence was trying to wipe out JR.
It became like his identity.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Chinese food.
And Chinese food. So Bobby's cleared of all of the charges, and they give him the envelope.
Did you get a good look at the contents? Because it happened too quickly for me. It was something about Kristen.
It's a hospital bill, dated January 1st, 1981.
Okay, so that's all we know about that.
That's all we know. It's just a hospital. It looks like an itemized hospital bill, and it says Christian Shepherd, and the date is January 1st, so New Year's Day.
Did I see something that said like blood type or something?
Something about blood. Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Little Christopher, born in August.
Mm-hmm. I know.
January hospital bill.
Mm-hmm.
Blood transfusion?
Maybe we'll find out.
Possible miscarriage?
No.
We shall see.
We'll see.
No. The plot thickens.
So, big family dinner.
Ellie comes down, surprisingly.
She's missed cocktails.
Yes. The only ones that are not there are Ray and Donna. And that's...
Yeah.
Given that Ellie is still upset with Donna at this point.
Yeah, it would be a little awkward. Yeah.
Awkward. Yeah. She would have been right back up to that bedroom, silently emoting.
Right. And she missed, and then JR says that, he's sorry she missed cocktails. That's the one drink of the day that he doesn't want to miss. And Lucy's like, yeah, I can't picture you not drinking every single evening, JR.
You fucking alcoholic.
Well, no, Lucy, it's just a time for the family to be together and blah, blah, blah. They're making small talk
about how much they love to drink together.
And Sue Ellen mentioned something about Jock, and Ellie is starting to silently emote and look across at his empty space. Oh, chug.
To drink. And so every other scene where she's been in the dining room, she is like tempted to look at his chair, but won't do it. She like looks away. She's like, I'm not looking at it. And she finally looks at it and sees the empty space across from her.
I feel the emptiness inside me.
And she gets up from the table, walks into the kitchen, and just starts breaking shit.
Teresa who is dressed like a Puritan with her black and white outfit this time, is sent to ask if anybody needs anything to clear her from the room.
She kicks Teresa out of the kitchen and then starts breaking shit.
And Bobby and JR hear it, and they tell Teresa no. They go in, they take a look, they turn around and let her be.
Yeah, they peace out. They're like, oh shit, nope.
Whisper words of wisdom, just let it be.
Mm-hmm. Let it go. Let it go.
Thank you, Anna or Elsa. And that's going to result in an entire new set of dishes for the South Fork house. Yeah. So hopefully they pick out some nice patterns with the next
expensive replacements. I don't know.
I know.
And this is I just have to say, like, this whole scene is amazing. And this is like quality Queen Barbara Bel Geddes shit right here, this scene.
She doesn't need any dialogue. Just put her in a room.
Oh, like there's like 17 emotions happening at the same time. Yep. You could see it all happening. She's a queen, and I love her.
It's almost like they just all they have
the
to do.
The volcano finally erupted.
Just like give Barbara Bel Geddes an index card that said grief on it.
Yes.
And be like, go in the kitchen.
And then she's like, got it.
All right. Bam.
Yep.
Smacks it off the counter, throws this, breaks that.
She's amazing. Yep.
But
that's how I imagine shit like that goes down. Like, it's not even a written scene. Like, somebody's just like, like the writers or the directors are just like,
they're like,
grieve.
Just tell.
Just do your thing.
Just tell Barbara to grieve. She'll know it. She'll know it.
And that happened. There are probably some. There's got to be some of our listeners that watch Knots Landing. That happened when Constance McCashin's character was killed off of Knots Landing after 9 years. They had a 2-part episode where the main cast gathered, and it was actually filmed at David Jacobs' house. And they didn't have a script. They gave all the characters basically what you said, cue cards, bullet points. And they let them improvise the entire 2-part episode.
Cool.
Because they had been with those characters for 9 years. Mm-hmm. They knew their ins and outs.
They knew it. Yeah.
And that was 9 years. This is what, 5 years or so, or thereabouts, roughly, or four or 5 years. And yeah, grief. Go, Barbara. Just do it.
Yep. Now, unfortunately, the scene I was thinking of with JR and the low octave voice, I think it's in the next episode.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because it took place on the South Fork veranda.
Yeah,
with Sue Ellen.
So everybody listening, come back next time and you'll find out what that scene is.
Right. Yeah, I see. Because I used to watch these episodes back to back and all the time, and I think I started meshing them together. I forgot that this one ends with Miss Ellie smashing everything in the kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know the scene where she goes over to
one more scene.
One more scene where she goes to Donna's. Yeah. Because Donna has to tell the publisher. She has to give the publisher an answer today, basically.
That's right.
Ellie comes over, super contrite.
She needed to get it out.
Yeah. She asked for basically forgiveness for being a biatch.
Tells Donna to go.
Sorry, I forgot. My notes stopped. I watched this episode 1,000,000 times before, but I thought I could do okay. But you know what, guys? I didn't do my homework, so I get an F minus.
Oh, you're fine.
And she tells Donna to go ahead and write the book as she was going to, and Jock's friends would know and understand, and Jock's enemies.
They know he's a bastard.
Jock's enemies, who really gives a damn? They're not going to understand anyway.
Right.
They're going to.
And she says to tell the truth because Jock did not lie. And she's like, "Isn't that right, Ray?" Ray's like, "Yep, he didn't lie." And I'm like, "But he kind of did." I mean,
the truth.
Yes, ma'am. He called Miss Ellie, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Omission? Are we counting? We're not counting lying by omission, like the whole first wife thing. But okay, that's fine.
First wife thing, the affair thing.
The affair thing. If we're just if we're not counting that, then yeah, he didn't lie.
Right.
Didn't he tell Ellie that he when he came back from the service that he had been with someone?
Yeah, he did tell her that. I don't think he told her
tell her
the whole thing. I don't think, I could be wrong, but I don't think that, like, he said that it was Margaret and that, like, that's the person he had an affair with's kid who's coming to live with them.
Right. I mean, he didn't know at the time that he impregnated Margaret.
Right, but I doubt that he told Ellie that was, oh, this is my ex-girlfriend's kid is going to come work on our ranch.
Yeah. And he's going to grow to think of you as a motherly type too.
Right. So she ends it with saying, like, memories are forever.
I know that Jock's not coming back. But I have my memories of it. And my memories are forever.
And scene.
Freeze frame. Ellie. Ends on Ellie. So we have to drink 2 more times because it's not JR.
Is everybody 2 sheets to the wind? Woohoo!
Holy shit. Woo. Okay, so I am giving this 4.9 bourbons, only being brought down by the terrible drug dealer. It's only being brought down one thing because the drug dealer thing was so stupid. But 4.9 bourbons and a standing ovation that starts with a slow clap for Queen Barbara Bel Geddes.
The next to last episode of the season. So obviously there's going to be stuff flying left and right. A fond farewell to Lee McCluskey. Stupid drug dealer scenes. Yeah, those that. You almost felt like I was cutting away from Dallas to a badly written 70s cop show at points, which did bring it down to, like you said, a 4.9. I will agree with you there. And I'm going to give it a new set of dishware.
Nice.
For South Fork.
Okay. Well, that was one of my answers. I'm gonna give it a 4.9 as well, only brought down by the drug dealers. But instead of like a fresh set of fine china, I'm gonna offer a brick of cocaine. Because that drug deal was so
$100,000 worth of cocaine.
$100,000 worth of cocaine. Because that oh my god, that was they're terrible drug dealers. They're terrible,
so bad,
fucking terrible. I bet if you put a brick in front of them and asked them to cut it, they'd be like, "How?
What?
What do you? Yeah. What?
You could
we
put
just
a brick.
Move the stuff. We don't cut it."
You could put a brick of sugar or a brick of flour in front of them. They probably wouldn't know the difference. They're that
baking soda,
baby laxative.
Baking soda.
So bad.
Not that I know anything about cocaine. Who the fuck knows anything about cocaine? I don't.
They're supposed to. They're cocaine dealers from Los Angeles. They're supposed to.
Dealers, not necessarily users, though, right?
They should know their business better, is all I'm saying.
And what was interesting is Kristen's first dabbling in the drug scene came when she was at a party in Los Angeles just after she arrived in her episode of Knots Landing.
Right.
And she got picked up in a raid, and one of the druggies was Tom Fuccello, who plays Dave Culver.
Yeah.
Dave.
Dave Culver.
Dave, don't let that get back to your people next time you're running for office.
All right, well, join us next time where it'll be the season finale.
Should we go live?
Finale, yes. Which, we could do it live. Yeah.
And its title is what?
Goodbye, Cliff Barnes. It's episode 26, 103 of the series.
Oh, is he leaving the city? Is he moving out of Dallas?
Yeah, I think he was thinking about it, right? He's thinking about leaving. That's what he said.
Oh, so he must be moving. Okay.
Yeah. So get your last minute donations into the Jim Davis Memorial Fund, because we're gonna cut it after the end of the season, because this is kind of where the Jim Davis Jock storyline kind of ends. So get your last minute donations. That address is in your show notes. And anything else?
So I assume Cliff is going to go work for Wally Hampton, and that's why it's called Goodbye Cliff Farms?
Yep, that's it. Yeah, he's going to go hang out with Mitch in Atlanta, I think.
Atlanta. Yes.
Yep.
Atlanta.
Okay, well, we will see you next time for the season finale. Bye!
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Our memories are forever.
Next on Dallas.
I need you. I know I can build a new life if you just believe in me and love me.
Cliff, I think you should know that JR has asked me to marry him.
When I found out that Cliff was using Wentworth funds, I fired him. I think it's time you did the same with JR. He used Ewing funds to destroy my son.
My own brother tried to blackmail me, so I'm going to vote to throw him out of Ewing Oil. Not until I take him apart.
I'm going to remove you as president of Ewing Oil.
You won't be able to do that.